Yeah, Jim, he come into the barn and he was half loaded already. And I said, "Where were you today?" "Oh," he said, "I went south and bought a bunch of wee little pigs." He said, "And I got a hell of a good deal on that." And we had a few drinks and one thing and another. And then he said, "Come out and look at my pigs." We went out there. There wasn't one. He lost the whole over. He didn't have a high enough. He said, "I'm going into the pig business." He said, "I'm going to make a fortune." And the pigs were gone. They running down the highway. Oh, God. And Ted, when he got that glass eye, see, he was working in the mine over in
Bralorne.
In Hope, or Bralorne,
or one of those, yeah.
Anyway. And he lost that eye and he had to get a glass one. And he said it comes in so handy. He says, when I want to go out and want somebody to look after the kids, he said, I put that eye on the table, and he said, they know I'm looking at them. And Raymond always had a thing going. He said, no, he didn't just die. He said, somebody run over him looking for a meal.
Looking for what?
For a meal.
Yeah, he said it was supper time. He said they probably run over. Because that guy bought himself a brand new truck, and they were sitting in the beer parlor drinking, and he wanted to show this guy that he knew pretty well. He wanted to show him his brand new. He was quite proud of his truck, so he was going to show his friend of this. And anyway, they jumped into the truck and they went down the road, and they come over a hump, and down below this hump, not too far away, the policeman had another car parked, stopped. And talking to the guy that he stopped.
Yeah.
But this guy come over the hill so damn fast, and he didn't get a chance to slow down enough, and he hit the police car. And the police come back and said, "What happened?" And he said, "I don't know, I just got here." And the oldest boy, as a matter of fact, he joined the army. Well, they had to go to the army those days, pretty much. And he changed his name. And when he came home for a holiday, he disappeared. And the old man and the old lady looked for him for years and years until the government said, "Hey, any of those guys that disappeared, they can come out now." I forget what name, he put a different name.
Fred Norgan. That's what he changed it to. Clarence.
Yes,
he changed it to Fred Norgan.
Oh, okay.
Fred.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. You got that right now.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
we went to a lake there someplace about a day or two before he was supposed to go back. But when he went to go back, he was gone. Nobody ever heard from him after. And they were looking for him, of course, too. Like the old man and the old lady, they were wanting to...
Yeah, well, he was a deserter, right? He was supposed to go to Winnipeg and then from there go on overseas or wherever, and he decided he didn't want to go.
And he didn't want to go.
Changed his name and stayed in Manitoba, I think. And then he got married and had kids and everything before anybody ever.
Well, if you were
saw
a dead guy, nobody'd be looking for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You wouldn't have to pay income tax
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
They're down.
Those guys got into all kinds of trouble. There were no two ways about that. And I got a licking from them guys almost. Not from them, but because of them. That was at Taco too. And I came out and they said, "There's another Celestia." And bingo, they hit me and I rolled down the stairs. Hey, I was pretty sore for a while. And Raymond said, "We used to get into a lot of fights in those dances." He said, "But I lost quite a few shirts, but I didn't lose too many fights." Oh yeah, they were a pretty wild bunch.
When we first moved to Bralorne and all those guys were up there.
Oh, Art was up there too.
Art was there with Dorothy at that time, and
Dorothy was a little crazy.
Yeah, and one of them, Dennis, I think it was Dennis and Dana maybe, had this housewarming party. And so everybody all piled into this house, because they just got this big housewarming party. Well, that house got awfully hot before the night was over. But anyway, I don't know, somebody said the wrong thing, and the next thing you knew, one of them threw a beer bottle at the other and smashed it again, missed the guy and smashed it against the wall. There was glass flying. Ooh. And then Dorothy and Art, they got into it, and next thing he's down on the floor. She straddled on top of him. She's pulling hair out of his head. There was hair in her hand.
Well, she was crazy.
She pulled it right out of his head.
Ooh.
And I'm standing, that was kind of the way that living room was. Well, I ducked into a bedroom and the glass started flying. And I wanted to get out, but the living room door was across the room. Well, it wasn't safe to go across the room to get out, so I had to stay in the bedroom until...
Oh, I thought maybe you went out the window.
Yeah, well, I never heard that one.
Oh,
but I
was
only
wild.
went to one party when we went to visit everybody up there that one time, and we went into a party, but it got big enough that they had us take all the furniture out of the house.
Gee.
I remember. Tony was kind of a casual guy. I know it was around Christmas time. One time I was out at their farm, and who the heck was it? Claude and Johnny got into a fight, and then in that old house that they got, you always had that. There was a stove there was for wood stove and one thing and another, and it was at Christmas time, so it was cold, and this stove was going, of course. And they always had pipes going up, and then it went the full distance of the house and things like that. And these guys got into a fight, and one backed into the stove, and his pipes come apart. And Tony's sitting here, the father,
Yeah.
and he said, "Look, they moved my stove already." He didn't get up to do it.
Oh my goodness! By this time, the smoke would have been billowing out.
He was calm.
Yeah.
As if that happened every day.
Yeah. Well, where they made some of the money, she made homebrew.
Oh, yeah.
And so the cops drove in the yard one day, and she shoved it quickly, the bottles, into the winter boots sitting right by the stove. She shoved it right in there, into the rubber boots. Cops came in, searched the place. They couldn't find a thing.
Rose's father, some of the girls did that one. When the police were coming out, because he was homebrewing pretty good, too, and they knew it. And selling it, of course. And they'd know it for years, and they'd let that go, pretty much, the policeman. But once in a while, they'd come out and try to check somebody. And one of the girls went and threw everything down the bank, down a well. And then, of course, they'd send a kid down the well on a rope and pick that stuff up. Well, hey, Rose had to go down once. And anyway, that was that Art Griffiths. He was driving. And he always drove way too fast, and that was number one. But anyway, I was working in the welding shop, and he come in with that doggone outfit, and he said, "We got to weld it because there's a dance tonight," type thing. And I said, "No, I'm not allowed to do that." And I said, "Where it's broke, I can't even build up on it for a little bit of strength either." But I wanted to go to that dance pretty bad too. And he kept coaxing me. He kept coaxing me. And finally, I said, "Okay," I said, I'll try to weld that thing up. But I said, under one condition, that you don't drive over 45 miles an hour on the highway. And so I welded the doggone thing, and we put that thing together. And anyway, when we were going down that little, kind of a swoop in the road, I was in the back seat, and I looked in here, he's going to run that thing over 100 miles an hour. So anyway, we had booze in there, so I was drinking that pretty heavy there already because, I was a little bit scared of this guy. But anyway, when we got to the dance, and there was a girl that I was dancing with, and they only lived about a half a mile from the dance hall, but the parents wanted to go home earlier. I said, "Well, heck, we'll drive her home." And we drove her home, and when he turned around in the yard to get back out of there, the wheel fell off again. So we couldn't find a wheel even. And it went in a guy's field, and then of course, when the sun come up a little bit in the morning, then we could find out, follow that up and see where the heck that wheel came. But it broke off on an axle, and right on the bearing. Art would never forget that when he had that Oldsmobile. He used to drive it way too. That bunch was all like that. Yeah. And there was about 3 brothers, and they were working in Manitoba in the mine there, or something going on in there. Yeah, I guess it was a mine that they had going up there.
Walter,
but anyway,
Walter and Alfred.
Alfred,
Walter.
yeah.
And which other one?
Johnny, maybe?
Well, there was the two for sure. The two that
Yeah,
you
for
mentioned.
sure, yeah,
And
those-
they used to come to Wilkie approximately once a year, sort of a thing. And there was quite a few stories come out of that one. Because anyway, what had happened as soon as the mileage come into, not miles instead of come into kilometers. They said we can't come to Wilkie as often now because it said it's a little further.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, when they were going back one time, that had to be more comical. One of them was sleeping in the back seat and the other one was driving, and he stopped in to go and get some gas. And that guy woke up and he went to the bathroom. And of course the guy came out and paid for the gas. He went and paid for the gas and jumped in the car and he took off. And he went a hell of a ways down the road. And all of a sudden he realized that this guy was missing. Not only that, then it got worse than that. When that guy turned around on the highway to go back to find his brother, he passed him and drove past him. Those guys had more.
I wonder how they ever found him.
You could laugh all night. Oh, God, yeah. They went to I forget where that was. That was toward Unity, there off to the side. Taco. There was a little dance hall there. And the two boys, they went to the dance. But anyway, coming home, they rolled the truck and smashed it all to hell. And so anyway, they got home somehow. I don't know how. But old Tony, the father, he used to go to Wilkie and get the mail every now and again. And Dennis, he went with him to go and get the mail. And the tow truck was bringing this year flattened out truck in. And the old man said, "For damn sure nobody lived out of that one." He said, "Yes, Dad, but we both did."